good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Amber from Small Business Britain, and today we're talking all about how to become a pro at Facebook and Instagram ads. And today we have the amazing Catherine George from Oh So Savvy and Oh So Social. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, morning, everyone.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. Thank you so much. So today's session is a part of our Lloyds Bank Academy partnership. Lloyds Bank Academy have lots and lots of free training and resources, and we have done lots of stuff with them in the past. You can go over to our Facebook page on Small Business Britain to check that out if you'd like to find out more. So for today, if you'd like to put your questions into the Q&A function, just makes it a little bit easier for us to see them. Please do get involved in the chat, say your hellos and let us know your business, let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always nice to know who we've got with us. And the final thing is we are recording, so you'll receive that after the session today and any follow-up resources, so don't worry if you miss out on anything. I'm going to hand over to Catherine. I'll be back at the end for questions, so over to you.
Thank you, Amber. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Become a Facebook and Instagram Ads Pro. So this is actually a super practical session today. The screenshots, we're going to talk you through the whole lot. We're going to talk you through the theory. So hopefully by the end of it, you'll be like, yes, I'm ready to go. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to do my first advert. So let's start with the awkward introduction. My name is Catherine George. I am the founder of Oh So Social. I also have a sister company called Oh So Savvy, which is an online training portal. The slides from today will go on the Oh So Savvy website for anyone who needs them afterwards. I do lots of work with Facebook and Meta, as you can see, Enterprise Nation, Small Business Britain, Vodafone, and I'm an official Facebook and Instagram She Means Business mentor. So hopefully I really know what I'm talking about all things social. I am a Facebook and Instagram lead trainer. So Facebook and Insta ads are really my thing. I'm a performance advertiser. I'm a proper geek when it comes to adverts. So I'm so excited to be talking to you about this today. And like I said, my lead company is called Oh So Social. We're international multi-award winning social media marketing experts. Try saying that after you've had a few drinks. We are a full service social media agency based down in the slightly misty, but still stunning Cornwall today. So we've got loads to cover. Questions at the end, please type them in the Q&A as you go, and we'll try to get around to as many of them as possible. So let's begin. I'm going to start by looking at the kind of, I suppose, the question that we should start with today. So what is social advertising? What is social advertising as a whole? Well, social advertising, and I know this slide talks about Instagram advertising because actually it's the easiest one to start with, but this carries commonality across all social advertising. So advertising is the process of paying the networks to turn your existing content or creating new content and pushing it past the algorithm. So we all know when we are on our organic social media, we're trying really hard to get seen. We're trying really hard to reach our audience. And lots of people say to me, well, actually, you know, I've got 1,000 page likes, but only 100 people are seeing my content. Well, that's very much the nature of the beast. What paid advertising does is it allows you to accelerate this process, and it allows you to kind of push past these algorithms and target people who have the potential to be your customers. So they are the potential to be people who are likely to purchase from you. And we can target them based on their demographics, their interests, their locations. It's really amazing and surprising what these adverts can target people on. But why do we do it? You know, what are the results we can get from advertising? Well, they vary. So at the very top of our funnel, we can see an increased brand awareness and increased reach. So increased brand awareness is more people know about us, more people are going to remember us. Increased reach is more people are actively seeing our content and hopefully coming into our sales funnel. We can get an increased following. So this doesn't strictly just mean an increased following to your social account. So yes, we all do want more Instagram followers and more Facebook page likes, but actually using social adverts well can increase our social following. It can increase our brand following. It can increase our social proof. It can increase people on our mailing list. Facebook and Instagram ads are so powerful. They can do so much. So it doesn't matter if you go, do you know what? No one really converts from my Instagram. Why should I use ads? Because actually we could use adverts to build your mailing list where 90% of your customers build from. Your social ads can sit anywhere in a sales funnel. So it's so important that we really appreciate that and understand how powerful they can be. Most importantly, they can bring more customers into your sales funnel. So I talk about sales funnels a lot. I do talk about them slightly later in this deck as well. But this is what we call people who are on their customer journey. They're not strictly ready to be customers yet. They're still moving their way down this ready to purchase process. I always like to compare a sales funnel to dating. You don't ask someone to marry you on the first date. You have to date them, you have to court them, you have to wait until they're ready to become Facebook official. And it's exactly the same with our customers. When they are in a sales funnel, we are dating them. We are moving them down this process. We are courting them. We want them to become interested in buying with us. We want them to become purchasable and spending clients. So the more we advertise, the more we can bring people into this funnel and keep new customers always coming in. And importantly, the reason we do all advertising and any kind of marketing is increase sales. And the beauty with social advertising is sales can be anything. They can be anything that you need that return on investment from. So it could be tangible e-commerce sales. It could be people coming into store, it could be in-store visits. It could be app downloads. It could be video views. It could be anything that generates you revenue. So social and Instagram and Facebook ads are so powerful. It's really worth investing some time and money there. So how do you start? I've told you why we should do them. Where do you actually start? So before we jump in is do your admin work first. And loads of people forget about their admin work. Loads of people kind of skip this bit, but it is so important. So make sure you have an Instagram business account. So you're not just using a personal Instagram account, you are using a business Instagram account. You have a Facebook or Instagram ad account running as well. So we've got our business Instagram working, we have our Facebook page working, we have our ad account working. We have a clear business goal. We have a good understanding of our customers, a good understanding of our sales funnel, and we want to know where we're going to send our customers. So I know the initial part of this list seems quite simple, and then it gets a little bit more complicated. So let's look at them in turn. So having a clear business goal is the most fundamental step in any marketing as far as I'm concerned. And it is so fundamental in all forms of social advertising because it helps us pick our ad objectives. And it's so important that your goals reflect your overall marketing and social media strategy. So I love using this slide for this because if your business goal is to be the biggest shark out there, if your business goal is to be the biggest brand out there, you act like it from day one. So it doesn't matter if you're this goldfish pretending, fake it until you make it, especially on social. So if your business goal is to be the biggest brand in a sector, we have to understand that, we have to analyze that, and we have to look at potentially vanity metrics. So those are things like increased followers, increased engagement. If your business goal is to maximize return on investment from existing customers, actually we have to look at retargeting adverts. We have to look at sales adverts. And this also carries through really well with your organic. The more you understand your business goals, the easier organic content writing becomes. So always be really honest and transparent with yourself at this point. Understand that this is my business goal, this is what I want to achieve, because when it comes to objective setting in a moment, it'll become much clearer for you. The next thing we have to do is really understand our customers. And to do that, we have to build a customer persona. Now, I know there'll be people on this call going, I don't need a customer persona, Catherine. I sell to everyone. Spoiler alert, no one on this call is selling oxygen. So everyone is not your customer. Everyone has a unique customer and attributes that link to them. So yes, you may have 4 or 5 types of customer who buy from you regularly. So you know someone who's a lead purchaser all the time, and then someone else who only buys in a sale, but they will have a degree of commonality between them. So really understand your customer persona and think about these things while you build it. So think about how old they are and what gender they are. And please no one go, well, we sell to 20 to 60-year-old women, because you talk to them all very, very differently. What is their income and their disposable income? And this is a big thing at the moment, is what is their disposable income? We know we are in a cost of living crisis, so really understanding this. And then as well, whether your product is a necessity or a desirable product. Is that something they can afford right now? What are their hobbies? What are their lifestyle choices? Do they really care about the environment? I had the joy of meeting Kerry from Scrubbies. Scrubbies are amazing, by the way, last week. And anyone who wants to buy from her has got a clear lifestyle choice that they care about the environment. That is their big thing. So it's really understanding that within your customer profile. Is it just them, or are they family? Who's their DMU? So who makes their decision for you? So the decision-making unit is often overlooked in marketing, and really understand who is that person who buys things. If you're selling a product for a child, yes, the child is the end user, but actually we have to speak to the parent within the marketing. So these can be quite squirrely questions. They make people feel quite uncomfortable, especially when it comes to the reason they buy. So do they need your product? Do they want your product? Or do all of their friends have your product? So are they buying to join into some in-group mentality? And what problem are you solving for them? So like I said, this is quite squirrely work, but I promise you, doing this work will save you hours of time later. And the last thing you need to think about within your customer profile is how and why people buy. So do they buy online, or do they buy in store? Are you an off-the-shelf product, or are you customizable, bespoke products that need to be purchased? What this does is it allows you to kind of create this in your content and your content within your adverts. So then we have to think about our sales funnel. So this is a traditional sales funnel. So people may have seen you in print or TV, they then Google you, they visit your website, they sign up to your email, and then at some point they'll purchase from your email. As you can imagine, social really skews this, because social does sit really nicely across the entire sales funnel. But we could almost convert a good sales funnel to this. So people find you, so their friends have commented on you, your content has appeared for them, they seem interested, so they're going to follow you. They then start engaging with you. So that's kind of the dating, it's the flirting, it's the, I think I'm going to like these guys, I might like these guys, I'm going to see them again. Then they want to know more. So then they start sending you messages. So this is where your customer service and your community management comes in. And then the final step in making that purchase from you is visiting the website. So understanding this, and it will be unique for every business. You know, this is a little bit of a one-size-fits-all slide, but understanding the way your customers buy is so fundamental when you go into advertising, because we need to make sure that we create a funnel within our adverts. And the final thing you need to think about is your customer destination. So where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do when they get there? Have you checked that your website works? Have you checked it's clear and user-friendly? Do you have a mailing list on your website that you want people to sign up? Can you data capture people? Have you got a pixel in place? Always get a friend to go through your customer journey for you. And I like to get a really critical friend. In the office, actually, it's become my boyfriend because he's harsh. And what we do is we make him go through every process at every client, because he'll pull up any faults. And it's not that you won't see it, it's about having fresh eyes and getting that fresh perspective. And I always say, you know, just ask a friend to do it, buy them a cup of coffee, and before you really start hammering investment, because it will help you make sure you get the really best ROI for your adverts. There is nothing worse than starting an advertising campaign and realizing that your website crashes on edge. It's happened before. We've had that, we've seen that happen. Or you hit a certain point and your cart check boots people out. check your customer destination. And then once you know all of this, we are ready to start advertising. So now I'm going to teach you guys the practicals of how we actually do some advertising. And I'm going to start on Instagram. I'm going to start on Instagram because actually Instagram is an easier platform to start advertising on. So there are two ways to do it. So you can either do your ads within the Instagram app or via Facebook. So I'm going to talk you through now how we do it in the Instagram app. And then what I will do later in this deck is show you how we do it in Facebook Ads Manager. So this is a nice soft touch introduction to advertising. So with Instagram, we have a very clear sales funnel, which is quite nice actually. And again, this does vary customer to customer. Some of your customers may never message you, they may never need to, but they might do. So that's always a nice middle step. So great example, and actually this is a great example of a product I've recently bought, is I saw some organic content. I then visited their profile, I followed them, engaged with some adverts, I engaged with some content. I then saw an advert, I sent them a message going, okay, I've got this problem, can you fix it? Had a long conversation back, didn't purchase just then, but then got retargeted with a website visit advert and then purchased. So this is a really clear way that if we want to run adverts across our entire sales funnel on Instagram, this is a great way to do it. So profile visits, messages, website visits. So once we understand this, we can start creating our adverts. So step one, that's why it's so important to have a business account on Instagram. You go to your Instagram profile and you hit this big add tools button. If you haven't got that button, you're probably not set up as a business account. So go to your settings and make sure that you are, and follow all of those steps through. Step two, select your content. So when you are creating ads within the Instagram app, it's really important to be aware that actually we have to use the existing organic content. We can't create new content in the ads tools section. So if you want to create something which is perfectly designed for an advert, create it new, post it organically, then open up your ad tools and work through this process. Step three, we have to select our goal. So on Instagram, it's really nice and simple. We've got these three options: profile visits, website visits, messages. And as we've already spoken about, they can sit in different places of our sales funnel. So your profile visits are very much top of the funnel. They are brand awareness. So they help you gain more followers. Again, goes back to this kind of, what are your key business goals? Is a high follower number important to you? Or do you just want to bring more people into your sales funnel? Website visits. So that actively sends people to your website. And depending on your customers and your business model, this can either be your middle of your funnel or the end of your funnel. Because you might be saying to me, oh, well, Catherine, actually all of my purchases are done via Messenger. People message me. That means messages is the end of your funnel. Vice versa, if people buy on an e-com website or a website where they send an inquiry, your website visits is the bottom of your funnel. So really understand your customer journey from your point of view. And make sure your goal reflects what you want people to do. So the most common mistake I see is, oh, we had loads of profile visits, but we didn't get any website traffic. You can't have your cake and eat it too with social advertising. If you optimize for profile visits, you will get loads of profile visits. You might not get any website traffic, or if you do, it'll be minimal. If you optimize for website traffic, you'll get loads of website traffic. If you optimize for messages, you'll get loads of messages, but probably won't get many profile visits or many website visits. You can't have it each way, so really pick this option well. So once you've picked your goal, the next step is to create your audience. So you can see I've created some over the years and I've saved them for kind of easy use going forwards. And you'll see as well that there's this big thing that says automatic. Now, please don't hit automatic, especially if you are new to Instagram. We know that when we first start a business, loads of our friends, loads of our family support us, they follow our accounts, they engage with everything. The problem is that skews that automatic button. Because what Instagram does is go, oh, well, these guys all have commonality. Great, I'm going to find more people like that. They're going to be people who've got commonality of your friends who may not strictly be your customers. So always create a new audience. And this is why it's so important to have our customer persona or our customer profile already created. The more we understand, the easier it is to fill out these options. So always give your audience a really simple name. Make it so you know next time you run an advert, yes, I want to click this. Yes, I want to click that. Select your locations. And your locations can be anything from county up to country. So again, really understand where your customers are and actually where you can sell to. And then your interests is the good bit. So this can be anything. You would be amazed what we can target within advertising. So don't be afraid to look at nail care, football, luxury lifestyle, you name it, there is probably an advertising option. So go into interests just by clicking on this button and start searching. That's why it's so important to look back at our customer profile and go, oh, do you know what? All of our customers really like jewels. We should probably put jewels in as an option. And then we can also select our age and gender. So ideally, we kind of want 18-year-olds and above, but if you're really not sure of what age bracket converts for you, you can leave it open because Facebook and Insta ads are so clever. They will automatically optimize for your target age group or the age group that are most likely to convert first. So once we have created our audience, the fifth step is to create our budget and schedule. And you'll notice that within our budget and schedule, we can select these buttons, we can type in our own, and for the duration, we can drag and drop this scale across. As you do this, your estimated reach will change. So always have a look and go, what can I afford? What am I prepared to test? And then look and see how that engages and how that affects how many people you see. So this is always an estimate. Sometimes you'll get higher, sometimes you'll get lower. That's very much the nature of the beast, but always select a budget that you can afford. Then we review and publish. So this is a really, really simple process. Just check that you've done everything and that you're happy with it. It's really that simple. Make sure, yes, I'm happy, I'm good. Make sure you've got a payment there. Make sure your audience is on point. And then you hit the big boost post button. Your adverts will then go into a review and they can be found in your ad tools later. So they can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to come through. But anytime you go back, you can review them, you can see if they're live, you can see what's happening and just check in. And as well, you can also monitor your results through the Instagram app. Trust me, you'll know if they're live if you've got your notifications turned on because they'll start pinging like crazy. If for any reason it doesn't go live, what we do is that you'll get a push notification, it will tell you why and it will tell you how to fix it. So that is how you create your very first Instagram advert in the Instagram platform. So now we're going to move over to Facebook ads. And Facebook ads are much more technical. So I'm going to have a mouthful of water and then we'll jump into Facebook ads. I love Facebook ads, by the way. And there are so many reasons why I absolutely love Facebook ads. I know we should now call them meta ads, but they are so exceptionally clever. And a great thing about doing your ads in Facebook is it gives us so many more options. So as with Instagram, we have two ways to do it. So we can boost posts from our Facebook page, and I'm sure all of us have sat here and gone, I've seen the big boost post button. Or you can do it in Facebook Ads Manager, not Ads Center, but Ads Manager. always use Ads Manager. Invest in training, attend these events with Small Business Britain, learn as much as you can about Ads Manager, because the return on investment and results you'll get from it will be much stronger. So where do we start with Ads Manager? So the first thing we do is we go into our Ads Manager and we select our objective. Now, at the moment, there is a new beta of Ads Manager running out. So you may not have this screen exactly. You may have a long list. Annoyingly, I tried to find an ad account with the long list. I couldn't find one. But it's so important to understand this page. And even if you're in the long list, the theory behind it stays the same. As we can see, this is a sales funnel. But unlike the one we saw earlier in this presentation and in this deck, it's laid out flat. One of the primary things to remember with your Facebook ads is you can't have your cake and eat it too, just like with our Instagram adverts. Every one of these objectives optimizes for something different, and that is what you will get. So in our awareness column, we get the options of brand awareness and reach campaigns. A brand awareness campaign will optimize to show to people who are likely to remember your advert for 3 days. Reach campaigns will optimize to show to as many people as humanly possible. These are very top of the funnel. And if you have loads of advertising budget, they are great. I personally can't stand these campaigns because for me, it's very, very difficult to prove a return on investment for. If you're Google, if you're Amazon, if you are Gymshark, if you are a huge brand and you just want everyone to know about you, they are phenomenal. For most small businesses, it's very, very difficult to get an ROI from that. So small businesses like us like to live in the consideration funnel. So this is your kind of middle part of your sales funnel. And these elements of ads will give you a return on investment. So the first option is traffic. I'm going to run a traffic campaign for you all today, but traffic does what it says on the tin. It gets people to your website. Within traffic campaigns, we have two options. We have link clicks. So they optimize for people who are likely to click on your advert, or we can optimize for landing page views. So to have a landing page views optimization in place, you have to have a pixel or conversions API on your website. But what that does is it optimizes for people with higher intent. So if we do a traffic campaign optimized for link clicks, it'll show to people who are likely to click on the link. If we do a traffic campaign and optimize for landing page views, it means our advert is likely to optimize for people who go to the website and spend time there. They have higher intent. Engagement adverts include things like event engagement. So I'm going to this event, Facebook page likes, and additional engagement on existing content or even content that you create. App installs does what it says on the tin. It optimizes to download your app. Video views optimize for people to watch an entire video or watch a certain percentage of a video. These ones can be a little bit tricky to prove ROI on as well, for obvious reasons. Lead generation, absolutely love lead generation. They actively data capture within Facebook. So you can create a lead generation campaign where people actively go, yes, I want to learn more. And then what they do is give your name autofills, your phone number, your email address autofills. They can download that data and you kind of work through a process. Top tip, if anyone is looking for a new perfume, find a lead generation advert where you can actively sign up for a free sample, because then you'll get sent them all. And I got 50 perfume samples and helped me find my new perfume. So lead generation are great. They also work really well in travel, if you're trying to get samples, if you're trying to get mailing list sign up. So again, it's about understanding your customer. Messages, optimize for people to send you messages. And then the final step of our funnel is conversions. So this area of adverts only really work if you have a pixel set up and conversions or conversions API. Conversions allow us to optimize for a specific action on the website. So say, for example, I'm going to use an e-com as example, we can optimize for people to add to cart. Catalog sales work if you have a firing product catalog. So this is where your dynamic retargeting comes in. And store visits allow you to drive people to a physical store location. So as you can see, all of these adverts do different things. That's why it's so important to really understand your business goal, where you're going to get your return on investment from. If you optimize for brand awareness, you're not going to get loads of website traffic. And you know, it's a really easy thing to almost muddle up. Does that make sense? So I once had a client say to me, we want everyone in the UK to see these boots. Everyone in their customer persona in the UK saw these boots. They were really disappointed with website traffic because you can't have your cake and eat it too. What a lot of people don't realize is the Facebook family of adverts are so intelligent. We say optimize for traffic. It will find people who are likely to do that action. So click on the link. They're likely to go to your website. They're likely to be your customer. And they also optimize for where they are online first and where they are most likely to carry out that action. So make sure you really pick this objective well. It is the fundamental starting point. So as I've said, I am going to talk you all through a traffic campaign, because for me as a small business owner and actually as an ads expert, traffic is where we get the strongest ROI from. So I'm going to guide you all through a traffic campaign today. So when we create our Facebook ads, we work on 3 different levels: campaign level, ad set level, ad level. So in our campaign level, all we need to do is put through our campaign name. It's that simple. Everything else on this page is a little bit more advanced. So when you are new to adverts, just pay attention to the campaign name. And top tip, copy that name, because you'll have to paste it in several times throughout this process. So that is campaign level done for you. Think of your campaign level as almost like a shell to collect all of your adverts and all of your important information in. The next thing we do is we move down to ad set level. So our ad set level is where we do all of the clever targeting stuff. It's where we kind of do the nuts and bolts and the settings of the campaign. So you'll notice right from the very beginning, we have to paste in our ad set name. This is why it's so important to copy and paste in the first instance, because you're going to have to paste this at least twice more. So give your ad set a name. It's so important you do that, otherwise they will just read new traffic ad and comparatives and results get really hard to understand. So once we've given it its ad set name, we can see that this is a traffic campaign. So moving down the page, the next thing we're looking at is traffic. And you'll see that you can choose where you drive your traffic. As this is a traffic campaign, make sure you stick with website. If you want people to message you, whether it be via Messenger or WhatsApp, actually we need to go back and change it to a Messenger objective campaign, because it will give you better results. If you are looking to download apps, again, go and switch back to app installs. And if you want people to call you, I've got to be honest, if you want people to call you, it's an absolute nightmare. So I would switch to a Messenger campaign instead. Dynamic creative is something as well that until you really master adverts, just avoid. So just scroll past it for now. And I know lots of you are going to be thinking budget and schedule is really important to us. I get asked by so many people, what should my starting budget be? So for you all, I'm going to show you my trick and my top tip on how you pick your first budget. But I'm going to teach you how to do it. So bear with me. So for now, what we would do is kind of scroll past that. So as we can see, we're going to optimize for this website traffic, as I've already explained. And we're going to scroll past the budget and schedule for now. So what we're going to do is just below budget and schedule, we see this great thing called audience. And this page has changed a lot recently. So if anyone has done some advertising before, you're going to go, oh, my audience didn't look like that. And you'll notice now by default, this is very broad. It's just targeting everyone in the UK, any age, any gender. What we need to do is find this edit button. And I say find it because you have to hover over it. So hover over settings and hover over near the right, and then your edit button will appear. And then you need to click it. Because once you click it, you can then create your audience using your customer persona. And it's so important to use your customer persona. It's so, so key. So what we can do is start working our way down through these things. So we can select which country people are in, we can select their age, we can select their gender. But I know what you're thinking. You keep telling me about my customer persona. You've even got a big arrow to the words customer persona. It's that important. Where do I add things in? Again, you are looking for another sneaky little button. So we are looking for the show more options button. It's so easy to scroll past. Make sure you take your time, you work through it slowly, because actually we want this show more options. This is where the fun stuff is. So once we open show more options, we get this detailed targeting box. And from there, we can start typing in anything we like. Again, pick what your key interests are for your customer. Pick what's going to prove that return on investment. Pick those which are going to be like your customer. So I've gone for business owners. You know, I'm going to create an ad for Oh So Savvy, which is my online training business. So I need to know business owners. So I have literally started by typing in business owners, and I've got this huge list of options. So what I can do is start clicking my way through this and editing these options to build my customer persona. So I can edit my location, my age, my gender, and start adding things into my detailed targeting. Now, what lots of people do is they get a little bit carried away at this point, and they go, all of my customers must love shoes. Shoes is too broad a target. If you look at your own Instagram and Facebook ad preferences ever, you'll notice that Instagram and Facebook think you love all sorts of stuff. They think I'm a big fan of Tuesdays. You have to be really pinpoint. Business owners is a great example because we can see I've got some really clear options. If you are selling Louis Vuitton handbags, you're not just going to put in handbags, it's too broad. You're going to put in things like Prada, Burberry. You're going to go for your competitors. So have a real look around here and have a play. While you are doing it, I want you to watch two things very carefully. So the first one is within this detailed targeting is the categories. And people often miss this. So where we see our lovely small business owners, then along here in the right, in lighter writing, we see whether it's a behavior, an interest, a demographic. You can target people on their behaviors. So this advert, for example, I'm going to target small business owners as a behavior. Facebook knows they're small business owners. If I typed in the National Trust, I could type in interests. I could type it in, I'd get the options for interests or employers. So it's important to see what your options are here, because you can also get a list of education. So if you want to target anyone who studied at the University of Oxford, you could do that here. So always watch and make sure you're optimizing for the correct interest or the correct behavior. And then the next thing I want you to watch is your audience definition, because this will vary and these figures will change. And they'll change and your audience will get smaller as you start to build in these characteristics. Now, this is normally where I hear stories like, well, I was told my audience had to be 40,000. Doesn't matter what your audience is, what that size says, it matters that they are correct and your demographics are on point. So once you have created your audience and your audience size is what you feel it should be, then we're going to scroll back up and look at the budget and the schedule. So as you start to play with this, so what you can do is come back up, you can select your lifetime budget, you can test the daily budget, you can go, I can afford to spend £20 or £50. If you type your figure into this lifetime budget, your estimated reach and link clicks will change. So your audience size will stay the same, but your results will differ. So this helps you pick a budget. Because if you say to me, Catherine, I really don't know what to spend, we would never recommend spending under £20 a week. But actually, you could come here, set this budget and schedule for a week at £20, and you can go, okay, well, my reach is 278 to 803. You could then up it to £40 and notice that actually your reach doesn't go up very far. So you're better off staying to 20. Vice versa, your reach could quadruple. So you could go, actually, do you know what? I think it's worth investing another £20 a week. Never, ever invest more than you can afford to lose, because nothing is certain. They're social ads. They aren't magic. There's lots of other external factors. So have a play here, and it's a good starting trick. Always make sure that you triple check this figure at the end, because Facebook are really crafty. And if you switch between lifetime and daily budget, these figures jump. So I would always recommend a lifetime budget, and always check your schedule as well. So your start and end date. So you'll notice by default, it switches on for a month or forever and ever and ever. Never leave your adverts run forever. And as well, especially if you're testing and you're using small budgets like £20 a week, set them on weekly schedules, because that means actually you've got enough ads, money in the ads manager to actually kind of get things going. So once you have done that, you've done your budget and schedule, we scroll back down the page and we go for next. We're going to leave automatic placements on. I haven't put a picture of that in just because it's one of the end buttons. Always leave your automatic placements on, because it allows your Facebook ads to work the way they want to. And then what we do is we go next, and we go over to our final step, which is actually creating our advert. So as we've already done with so much today, we are going to name our advert. So the first thing we're going to do is name our advert the exact same thing we've named it throughout. The next thing we're going to do is check our page identity. Now, this is actually a really important thing that people rarely think about checking. If you're connected to more than one Facebook page, these can jump about. So always double check the page identity just by clicking on this box, making sure it's the correct Facebook page. And actually, it's the same with the Instagram account. Make sure your Instagram account is connected. If it isn't, you can enter in your login details and it will allow you to connect. If you don't have an Instagram account, it'll just go to, it'll say promoted page, and that's absolutely fine. Then what we do is we start actually building the advert. So we select our ad format, and there are several different ad formats that we can use. So we can use single image or video, which are nice. They do what they say on the tin. They are one single image or a single video. The single video can include a slideshow. So if you go, oh, I really want to use video creative, but I don't have any video, you can select the single image option and select video and create one for no cost. A carousel is 2 or more scrollable images or videos, or a collection is a group of images that open up into a full screen mobile experience. When you are new to adverts, and the one I'm going to show you today is single image, because it is the easiest place to start. So there's lots of arrows on this page, bear with me. So once we have selected a single image, we scroll down the page. So the first thing we do is we select our media. So we select add media, and what it will do is give us a lovely pop-up box that allows us to upload any images from our computer that we want. It also allows us to access everything that's previously been shared on our Instagram and Facebook page and in our previous ad account. So actually it's an access to a really big image library. It's so important when you are creating your adverts that your image is eye-catching. Because just like with every other form of social media, we are competing against our friends, our family, graduations, new babies, all of our competitors, all of the world news. So the image actually does a lot of the hard work for us. So selecting a good image is the most important starting point. Now, actually, we are then prompted to put in our primary text next. And our primary text sits above the advert. What is interesting within the kind of psychology of social ads is actually the eye goes from the media, so the image in the middle, to the headline, to the text above. So when I build my adverts, I always do image, headline, text above. So with your headline, make it really clear what you're selling. Get your most important piece of information across. So for Savvy, I've just put on-demand social media training. Does what it says on the tin. If you are offering a sale, if you are doing a flash sale, big capital letters, flash sale. If you are an eco-friendly sponge alternative, eco-friendly sponge alternative. The most important piece of information goes in your headline, because that's what we need to hook people in. We've only got 1.3 seconds to get someone's attention on social. So it is important that the image and the headline really do that job of hooking people in. The next thing we need to do is go up a level again and build in our primary text. So your primary text is the bit that does, I suppose, like the flirting. It does the work. It tells people what you're selling and what you want them to do. So this is actually quite poor example. I've just put it's time to get social media savvy. Really, what I should have done is put sign up to our free online on-demand social media training. I've told people what I want them to do. I've told people why they should do it. I've told people what they're doing. There is a whole psychology behind primary text and writing for the UK and the US and Australasia and places like that. But it's more important that you get across this key message, what you want them to do and where you want them to do it. Flash sale, second sale, available for a limited time on our website, shop now. Nice and simple. Learn yoga at home with our free online courses. Does what it says on the tin, telling them what you want them to do. And then finally, within here, we add in our website URL. This is so important because this is where people are going. So it is paramount that you put your web URL in. It won't actually let you go live without a web URL. So if you see a big red warning, that's why. But always just make sure it's going to the right place. And if you are promoting a specific offering or a specific service, don't be afraid to send people directly to that offering, because we're always looking for a 3-click process. So then our final step is to select our call to action. So I've chosen use more with this, but there are loads. There are learn more, book now, sign up, shop now. So always make sure they are reflecting your stage in your sales funnel. So always have a play with your call to actions, and then when you're ready, hit publish. So once you hit publish, your ad will go into review, kind of between anywhere to 24 to 48 hours. We've got one client whose ad goes into review and they're out again in about 5 minutes. Others, they stay in review for about 3 days. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But once they are live, you will get a notification that says your advert is live or scheduled, and you're good to go. So I'm very aware that I'm about to say it's that simple, and I know that that is an awful lot to follow and go through in quite a short amount of time. And I know we have loads of questions. So I'm going to try to get them up.
Catherine, thank you. That was so amazing. Thank you for breaking down such a complicated topic and making it sound so easy. But you're right, we have lots and lots of questions, which I have been collecting for you. So if you're happy, we can just start firing away.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So first of all, Clarice has asked, do you have to run Instagram and Facebook ads separately, i.e. assign a budget to each one, or can you run one for both platforms, basically, and use the same budget?
So if you use Facebook Ads Manager, your ad will automatically go to Facebook, Instagram, Marketplace, Messenger, Audience Network. So yeah, so actually Instagram ads in platform are a really nice way to kind of get used to advertising. If you really want them to work and really deliver, go to Facebook Ads Manager, because then what they do is they automatically go across the entire Meta family. They optimize for where they're online first and where people are going to do that action. So not only will they go to Facebook and Instagram for you, but they'll also go to Audience Network, which is over 500,000 websites with advertising space on. Yeah, so if your audience is on Instagram, they'll go to Instagram. If they're reading the Huffington Post, your advert will go to the Huffington Post.
Okay.
So really,
it sounds like using this business suite is more cost effective.
Yeah, so Facebook Ads Manager will allow you to go to all of those platforms, all for the same budget. Yeah, so it is more cost effective. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. I could just see a couple of comments saying thank you so much. And Katrina says she feels a little bit less nervous to give ads a go now, which is amazing. So I've also just seen a few comments asking about the slides and the recording. We will be sending it over to you afterwards, and there'll be a link to the slides, which will be hosted on Catherine's website. Okay, so on to the next question. How often should we advertise? Is it smaller budgets weekly or larger budgets spend monthly? What is your view on that?
Oh, that's such a difficult question because it varies so much business to business.
Okay.
We've got one client who we spend £100 for a month and we're running them all the time. She's got a phenomenal product. She's an artist. She won't mind me saying, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, because I've said, she's got a book. It's running all the time. It's a lovely evergreen advert. Okay. and it delivers. Some people, for example, if you are selling woolly jumpers, probably wouldn't advertise now until October, maybe. It varies so much business to business. It's such a difficult question to answer. I always say, let's really look at your business goals. Let's look at when your customers buy and why your customers buy and be tactical from there. Okay. It's really well known, for example, in August is really slow for e-commerce. So loads of people turn off their adverts because everyone's on holiday. No one really shops online. So it does. This isn't really answering the question, is it? I'm just kind of talking.
No, it's amazing.
If you have a good budget that you can spend and you're getting results, leave them on all the time. Just tweak them, make sure they're really working. If you know people only buy around payday, only put them on payday.
So it's about looking at your specific business. It's not a one size fits all, whether you've got a small budget or a large budget.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's the same across lots of marketing. It's very specific to your business. It's not, one size fits all. Yeah. So do reach out to us if you want any more information for the lady who asked that question, and I'm sure we can help you between us. I can see a few comments about boosting. I think that's another option to ads. Someone has just put in the comments, is it worthwhile?
So the thing with boosted posts is they are they can do what they say on the tin. They'll go out to an automatic audience. If you go, I have an awesome post that has a really clear, actionable thing in my sales funnel. So say, for example, you've done, I'm going to use a sale. Again, you've got a flash sale. Yes, that would be worth boosting and optimizing it for traffic. Now, if it was me, I would do it in Ads Manager. And actually, I'll show you on this slide, there is this button here. I don't know if you can see where my mouse is, where it says create ad. Yeah. From that drop down, you can actually select any existing post on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
So it gives you all of the options from the advanced targeting and Ads Manager, but you can apply it to an existing post. So it's like supercharged boosting posts.
Yeah.
So if there's a reason to do it, yes, they're worthwhile. If Facebook is going, you got loads of engagement on this post, you should boost it. Actually, what return on investment is that going to bring you?
Okay.
And that's the big question. And it's normally where people, go wrong. They're like, oh, we've had loads of engagement. It's really exciting. Facebook told us to boost it. We got more engagement. We didn't get our money back. So it's all, especially for small business, it's about where is my return on investment from this post? So if it's a sale, if it's a newsletter sign up, if it's an event sign up, yes, crack on, boost it. If it's just a vanity thing for you, if you've got money to spend, it's the end of financial year, you want to spend a bit, you want to make this post look great, crack on. If you need a return on investment, save your budget for something that will drive sales within that funnel.
Okay, that's really clear. And I guess it comes back to your specific business goal and what you want to do with that post.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So Luke has asked if the awareness section is for large brands, and does that, or is it similar? And does that mean boosting posts through Instagram app is also for larger brands rather than smaller brands? I feel like you just kind of answered it.
Yeah, so actually what's quite interesting is we've got a brand at the moment who wants to be well known, they want to grow their audience. So we're using Instagram adverts, profile visits to build their Instagram following, and then we're retargeting them with adverts. So we're making that brand, that top of the funnel, actually bring a revenue because we're targeting them later in adverts.
Okay.
So if you can do that, it's a bit more advanced ads management. But when you get used to it, when you get excited about it, you could go, do you know what, I'm going to do brand awareness, I'm going to put a video on it, I'm going to retarget a video on a custom audience, then it's worthwhile. Introduction to ads management, I would stick with traffic or profile visits on Insta is probably the one exception because it does grow your Instagram following, if that's a metric that you need.
Okay. Okay, cool.
It's so difficult to answer these questions because there really is not one size fits all. So I hope I'm actually being helpful.
No, you are being so helpful. And I think you break it down so clearly because I've tried to do Facebook ads a couple of times myself, and being in Ads Manager, it's so overwhelming. So I do feel for any small businesses that are trying to do it themselves. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. So thank you. I've just seen a question come in, which I think is interesting, from Mandy, saying, is hashtagging a part of that Insta ad process, or do hashtags not count for anything?
Hashtags are all organic. So on Instagram, always use all 30. I've got a video all about hashtags on Instagram over on Oh So Savvy. So, but it's all organic. So.
Okay, cool, amazing. I'm just going through more of the questions. Is it better to create your audience in Ads Manager before you create your ad so you can reuse the audience in future?
So there is a big save button. So you can save it and then use it again and again and again. So yes, I always recommend, if your audience delivers well, saving it and using it for the future, because then you just have to make it once, it saves you loads of time.
Okay, cool, amazing. And I think we've just got time for one more question. Is there anything you can tell us about leveraging Facebook and Instagram ads with Facebook and Instagram shops?
So make sure you have got your product tagging switched on. That's really key. And if you've got your product tagging, what you can do is set up dynamic adverts within Ads Manager. So then we can start to do the clever things, which is like, this person viewed this product, but they didn't buy it. Let's retarget them with an advert with like an offer code or free delivery and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's really feasible, really possible. It could even be a whole presentation on how you optimize those together. So it's a little bit more advanced, but you can do some very clever things. The rules always start with having a Facebook Business Manager and your Facebook Commerce Manager set up and working well. Then we can do all sorts of magic.
Okay. It sounds very confusing, but there is so much you can do, and I think ads are so clever. I've gone to websites before and then been retargeted like weeks later, and I just think it's crazy how they can reach out to you. But I just want to say a massive thank you, Catherine, for joining us today and sharing all your wonderful knowledge with us. As I said, we will be sending a recording to everyone, so you can catch up. We'll be including Catherine's details in the follow-up email, so do please feel free to reach out to her and her team. They are so knowledgeable and I'm sure can help you become a pro at Instagram and Facebook ads. But that's it from us. Thank you again, Catherine. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.